All right, today is Monday afternoon, first day of the SharePoint conference. I just walked out of Andrew Connell's presentation where he talked about how to integrate SharePoint with Azure. Man, what do I even say? That was an awesome presentation. I bet I saw 1,000 lines of code just then in like 15 minutes. It was totally demo by Firehose. I mean, it was really great. Probably the first session I've ever seen at a conference that was actually a 400 level session. So kudos to Andrew, you delivered on a 400 level session. Just wanted to reach out and say that. So he talked a lot about sandbox web parts. He talked about why they're great. He talked about some limitations. So he talked about how it allows developers to publish their code without needing to involve IT operations. But the trouble with sandbox, as he was describing, was you can't get out of the sandbox. So how do you get around that? How do you get out of the sandbox, like querying LOB, line of business data, or web services, REST, those sorts of things? How do you do that in a sandbox? Well, he talked about how you can use JavaScript, Jquery, Silverlight, HTML5. How can you can use those different client-side technologies to get out of the sandbox, and he actually demonstrated connecting to Azure services. So he showed a website hosted in Azure. He demoed an iframe just consuming that website and how that was a really easy way to integrate. He talked about using Jquery to query a WCF service hosted in Azure to pull data out of Azure. And he also talked the other way around. So he talked about using the SharePoint client object model to read and write data into SharePoint from Azure. So he went both directions with this thing. It was really great. Let's see. One thing that really stuck out to me that I didn't know was I didn't know that client object model couldn't talk to SharePoint from Azure because the COM can't. It doesn't know how to use or it can't authenticate with claims by default. And so he was talking about how you need to get the fedauth cookie. So do a request to SharePoint, get your SAML token out of the fedauth cookie, and then inject that into your request via COM. I think I'm saying that right. Forgive me if I got that backwards a little bit. But essentially, it was just an interesting demo talking about just that unique authentication scenario with claims and COM going from Azure to SharePoint. So I was particularly engaged when he was going through that. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. Tons of demos. He is the demo king, that's for sure. So yeah, kudos there. So now I'm in the session right now for building internet sites that scale. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how to publish an internet site with hopefully millions of users, and just seeing what kind of impact that has on infrastructure. So looking forward to that. Talk to you in a couple hours.